background I come from is from the Ponca and Oto Missouri tribes, respectively. I'm an enrolled member of the Ponca tribe, but I'm enrolled here, working with the Oto Missouri tribe. My last name, Arkeketa, is an Oto Missouri word. Arkeketa is the way it was supposed to have been spelled back when the Europeans came across this continent and registering their Indians and their involvement with the federal government during the 1800s. Could not spell Arkeketa, so they did it as best they could, and it's like it is today, Arkeketa. Being enrolled with the tribe is, to me, not too significant, because enrollment is something that was imposed by the federal government, in my view. Enrollment with a tribe is not required, but it's good because of the services that stem from the old treaties that never was fulfilled. So we do enjoy in-house service, the service of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and other federal agencies that are trying to carry out the obligations of treaty making back in the 1800s. My great-grandfather, George Arkeketa, was one of the negotiators for the Oto Missouri tribe that was involved in the 1854 Treaty of the Oto Missouri tribes for their homelands in the present state of Nebraska. Shortly after that, they were rounded up and put on a reservation in Nebraska, and it was a disaster for the whole tribe. They no longer could roam freely. They were like pinned and in one place, and things were very harsh for them. So my great-grandfather continued to serve in that capacity as chief of the Buffalo Clan, of which I'm a member of that. And he negotiated a movement into Oklahoma. There wasn't a whole lot to negotiate. I guess he did more arguing against the harsh realities of this move, which I think many Indian tribes claim as a trail of tears over the years. And subsequently, they were removed to our present area near Red Rock, Oklahoma. And we have 1,500 members on the Oto Missouri roll. On the Ponca roll, there are about 2,500 members. And our reservations, the old boundary lines, connect with one another, so we kind of share a joint area. And those of us belonging to two tribes by our parents have relations on both sides, both traditionally and otherwise, and have a strong urge to continue working for the tribe in whatever endeavors they are going to get into, areas like economic development, social services, and land reform, youth, working with federal agencies like Indian Health Service, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and other private corporations. I mentioned that I was enrolled with the Ponca tribe, and I'll go back to that and say that, in my view, the required for a person to be on a tribal roll more or less comes from the federal government. And currently, we tend to go along with that in this concept that of tribalism, not so much as to what you feel you are, but we feel like we have to belong to a tribe by being enrolled and federally recognized as a tribe and a member of that. I look at this enrollment as like a brand on an animal, or a status issued, and that's all it is a status. It doesn't make us speak our language any better, any more fluently. It doesn't make us sing better traditional songs. It doesn't make us dance any better than we do. So it's like the shirt I'm wearing today. If I was to remove that shirt, and that shirt represented my enrollment with a federally recognized tribe, what would I be? That's a good question to ask yourself. So if you removed that shirt, that the government says you are a recognized member of a federally recognized tribe, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference traditionally. To me, it's more like a way for the government to keep us oppressed in many ways, to keep us identified, like a Social Security number. You got it for your life. Well, I think enrollment with a federally recognized tribe is much the same as a Social Security number. And this comes, there's a lot of issues to that, going back to the treaty making days to now. Why the purpose of enrolling us. And after examining these, looking back to my grandparents, it was a way of taking our culture from us in a small way. I mean, not in totality, but it was a part of that. Our people were punished for speaking their language. They were abused, physically abused in many instances. My grandmothers and grandfathers tell stories of the non-Indian patrons at the government schools who beat them physically for speaking their language. So now we come to this point in time in 1998 where we find the government through various agencies, arms of their agencies, allowing a certain amount of small appropriations of dollars to revive your language. After 3 generations, they beat it out of you, your great-grandparents and grandparents. Now they want to revive it. The Repatriation Act, all the acts of Congress that saying, now, okay, your language is what makes you unique. And so we took it away from you, so we're going to, through our various agencies, going to put a little money back into your tribes and establish a language preservation project. But in reality, that is not going to cause us to be using our language as an everyday language. It's gone. It's going to be hard to reconstruct. We can only reintroduce ourselves to various phrases of the language, and none in my generation will be fluent speakers. I mean, just a sad end of it. So a people cannot have a culture if they don't have a language. So you take any tribe in Oklahoma, the 36 tribes here that reside now in Oklahoma, much of their language is gone. And for this project year, I've been working on the preservation of the Oto-Missouri language, and find it alarming that we only have 3 fluent speakers, and they are located away from the home community. So it'd be difficult to find a way that we could make people my age and younger learn the language. So all that's left for us is fragments of our beautiful culture and heritage as it was in the days of my great-grandfather. We'll never enjoy that again. It's going to be lost forever. And I am amused that to know that one of the eastern tribes who have probably lost their language by now in the East Coast region, I'd heard a story of an issue by a tribe, and I can't name the tribe today, but the story is that this Indian tribe and its chief and the rest of the council were arguing an issue in a federal court. And during the litigation, one of the attorneys, the opposing attorney, asked the chief of the tribe, "Do you speak your language?" And he said, "No." "Do you know your traditions?" He said, "No, I don't." "Do you know and sing your ceremonial song?" "No, I don't." And after a couple more questions like that, do you participate? Do you dance in your ceremony? He said, "No, I don't." Well, the lawyer said, "You're no different than I am. What is unique about yourself? You're no more unique than I am in regard to being an American Indian. You lost your language, you lost your dance, you lost your traditions, your religious culture, everything. It's gone. So what makes you unique?" When you look at that today and everybody examines themselves as an American Indian, they can ask themselves that question: do you know your language? Because if you don't know your language, you can't have a culture.